Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out Mortal Kombat. Finally, every time I look on my channel thinking, have I done a video on Mortal Kombat yet? And I keep finding the answer to be no. I'm always amazed with myself, because I keep thinking, why the bloody hell have I not done a video on this game yet? So, yeah, didn't mean to actually go to a demo there. Thankfully, you can even skip back to the press start screen by pressing start on the loading screen. But anyway, this is also the best press start screen ever, because this is what happens when you press start. Smack. I know that's silly, but it's actually a really nice touch. Anyway, this is the 2011 released fighting game that rebooted the Mortal Kombat franchise and actually took it to a place where I find it to be actually really good, but we'll get to that. So we've got a few things to go have a look at first off. So if we go have a look at our options, we can rebind our entire control scheme, which is actually great because it means that you can play however you decide you want to. And you can even have 4 different presets, which is even better. I'm surprised they don't actually default to anything, but whatever. And you can change your buttons to whatever you want them to be. So like if I can change this to be X if I want to, but there's no need for that. I'll just keep all the things as they were, more or less. You also have some gameplay options, including changing your story mode difficulty, which is nice. You probably want to keep that nice and low for reasons we'll get into. You got your rounds to win your round time and your subtitles for everything else, which is also nice to be able to change, although it doesn't affect everything. And here's your audio settings, 5 different sliders, so you can turn as much up or down as you want. And you can play with both your contrast and your brightness settings. I've actually had brightness on max this entire time. It starts out around here, but I just kept it on maximum anyway because I like having my brightness at maximum. That's just how I like playing my games. You've got a bunch of different modes up there, but we want to go to the extras first. So if you come to the Krypt is an interesting way of handling gallery-style unlocks. So when you're in here, you can use coins that you've gathered from basically every other mode, and you can spend them here on certain kinds of unlockables. And you don't know what you're getting until you actually buy them. So let's just go up to this headstone here and break it open and see what it has in store for us. It could be anything from a music track to an alternate costume to a fatality to a music track. As I said, you never know exactly what you're going to get. And this map is absolutely huge. There's tons of unlockables to get. I think it's like 100. Yeah, there's a piece of concept art, which is actually pretty neat. And you can see the map here of where all the stuff is and how much... Okay, way more than 100. Fuck off. Yeah, look at that. 40 over there, 83 there, 55 there, and 121 there. That's like over 200. That's insane. But yeah, as you can see, there's an absolute ton of stuff to unlock. Some stuff will cost more money than others, and we have a big tomb over there. We might as well go see what's in that. And all of this stuff is available over at the... all of this stuff is available over at the Necropolis, which you can see in the background on the left there. And the Necropolis will give you Deadpool speed painting. That's kind of interesting. It's a shame I can't use that as like a wallpaper, because that'd be really nice. But yeah, you can see all the way over there, that's the Necropolis. You can walk over there, but you can also just access the main menu option, which is what we're going to do, because it's a lot faster just to do it that way. Notably, there's also a couple of things for the characters that are included exclusively in the PlayStation versions, because this version came out after all the others, including, I believe, the Complete Collection, but I might be misremembering this. And you can come here, you can view their stats and their character bio and all that, bloody Kratos. To be fair, if there was any Sony character that would end up in a Mortal Kombat game, it would be fucking Kratos. Like, without a doubt. Yeah, there's Freddy Krueger too, by the way. Like, also, Freddy Krueger, relatively appropriate character. But anyway, I believe I unlocked something special for Shiva. Yeah, so you can see her alternate character bio here, which actually has her alternate costume put on by default, which is different. We'll put it that way. You can even tell with the damage, which is kind of neat. And before someone shrieks misogyny. Not even sure that is a woman. Is that a woman? Is Shiva a woman? Is she like a god? Like, there might be a difference. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with Mortal Kombat, just FYI. Admittedly, the most I've ever played of Mortal Kombat is like just dabbling in the first 3 games and then a bit of 9 and 10. That's pretty much all I've played of this series. So, we have a ton of different modes here, I should say. Not moves. Modes. And these different modes are all very interesting in and of themselves. Well, the last two here, versus via online and ad hoc. The online doesn't work anymore. It hasn't worked for years, so don't try. Thanks, GameSpy. But ad hoc versus is actually pretty nice. You can do, of course, your training mode, and you've got your challenge towers, which are great little things. Your story mode, which is also pretty interesting. Live through the epic events of the Mortal Kombat story. That sounds about right. And, of course, your regular fight mode, which will give you a bunch of extra options. Your typical ladder and your tag ladder, and then a bunch of little interesting mini-games. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to play on ladder so I don't spend like 15 minutes fucking around in all the other menus without actually fighting something. So we're just going to play the typical ladder as Scorpion on medium. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh, you picked Scorpion of all people. Scorpion's actually been my favorite character in this franchise for a while, ever since I basically started playing it. So, A, give me a little bit of a break, and B, he's the character I'm best with, so I might actually look somewhat competent playing this. I won't play the entire ladder, because just like every fighting game ever, there's always a big, mean boss fight at the end to fuck around with you. So, I don't want to go playing through the entire thing. And of course, I do have 3 other modes to show off, so we want to, you know, keep this as relatively quick as possible because I don't have infinite time of the day and I have another video to get done this afternoon in 40 fucking degree weather. So if you can actually hear my, fan going in the background, I'm sorry, it's literally 40 degrees outside, and once the warm air starts beating down on my bedroom, I'm not going to be able to feel a damn thing. So, Mortal Kombat. Here's how it works as a basic fighting game. You have 4 attack buttons. Your front and back punch and your front and back kick. And these are just, they're exactly what they say they are, more or less. And using them in particular button combinations will give you different combos. So, for example, I believe square, square, triangle, or square, square... It's square, square... Yeah, square, square, triangle does a basic combo with Scorpion. And there's a few combos like that. And you got to figure out what combo is most effective to use at what time. You do also, of course, have special moves. And these special moves are done by 2 directions and then an attack button. So, for example, to use Scorpion's ever-famous Get Over Here grappling hook, you double tap left twice and then press the square button. Everybody has a bunch of moves like these as well.
Finish him.
I don't remember my fatality with Scorpion. I'll look it up in the next match before we actually get into fighting, so I actually remember what it is. There's a bunch of different kinds of special moves that you can use. Not many of them are affected by, like, other button presses and stuff, so there's no, like, variation on certain things, except for the ability to power them up. And to power them up, you need Power Meter, which builds up in the bottom left. You can see the power meter is currently at 1 for both of us. If you block at the same time you throw out a special move, it'll do a more powerful version of that special move that'll do more damage. Right. What's Scorpion's fatality, so I remember? So here's a look at the move list just while I'm here. So you can see there's all your regular moves, and of course you got to throw on the L button as well. There's your basic combos, and there's your tag attacks. We might get into a couple of tag matches later on, but I can't guarantee anything. Alright, it's back, down, back, triangle, and I have to be right next to him. And an X-ray attack. We'll get into an X-ray attack very shortly, I promise. So there's, it's annoying, because the only way you can tell these two apart is which one's darker. Might actually get to see an X-ray attack if I fuck up. I didn't. Holy shit, I didn't fuck up when I said I might fuck up. Who would have thought? There's a combo for you. You do, of course, have... Trip.
Scorpion wins.
You also have a second part of the energy meter, which, if you have both the first and the second parts filled up, you'll be able to do a combo breaker. So if you get stuck in a combo and you want to save as much health as you can use it and get out of trouble. But I find it to be entirely I find it to be useless because you can get more damage out of 3 bars or 1 bar than you can out of 2 bars. It's just kind of a waste. He tried to X-ray attack me straight on wake up and he just couldn't do it, which is unfortunate for him. Because that means I get to punch him in the face a bit, and it hurts. And there's your X-ray attack. Of course it got landed on me, but oh well. A demonstration is a demonstration. And now I'm just going to do the same thing right back and fuck up and... Okay. Back down, back triangle. Never mind. Don't worry, I'll get 1 fatality on video. He says, tempting fate. Hello, Striker.
Police brutality coming up.
Round 1.
So, what do I think of the overall fighting in Mortal Kombat? Well, actually, I think it's quite excellent. There's a lot of variety in the character roster, and that's one of the main things I like about these sorts of games. There's tons of different kinds of characters, and they all do their own different things. Even with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, who look almost exactly the same, except there's nowhere near as bad as they were in the original Mortal Kombat games, because they were literally the same dude, just with a different color on. I probably should have let that hit me just for demonstration purposes, but yeah. I think the actual fighting is excellent for the most part. There's a ton of different characters with lots of different kinds of moves and lots of different playing strategies, and the actual fighting feels like an upgraded version of the original Mortal Kombat, which is actually kind of a weird thing to translate a 2D pre-rendered fighter where all the characters were like rotoscoped into computer graphics. It's a bit weird trying to change like a gameplay style like that. And, well, not so much change it, but adapt it for a modern day graphics style like this. But it works really well, actually. It makes all the fights really interesting because nobody feels like they're too over the top and everybody feels relatively balanced. I just did a combo breaker there, but was that me doing a combo breaker? I didn't realize I was doing it. Maybe you just have to hit block. Right. 4 down 4. There we go. There's your fatality. Awesome! Who doesn't love a good slice off of the waist, slice off of the neck, and then just kick him forward? And slice his head in half when it's coming to the ground. Who doesn't love that? And everybody's got their own unique fatalities and X-ray attacks, and they are... Well, they used to be gruesome. They used to be really gruesome. Then Mortal Kombat X came out and just pushed it forward even more. And so the X-ray attacks in this game look kind of cartoony now by comparison. But still.
Show me what you can do.
The actual fighting action, as I was saying, is actually great. It's fast-paced. You never spend too long... You never spend too long in the down position. Like, you never spend too long getting the crap beat out of you with a long-ass combo, because not that many combos in this game go for that long. So you're always back on your feet within a couple of seconds. It's always I mean, I love my BlazBlue, but one of the problems that game had was that when you started playing against really good people, you could be lifted off your feet for longer than 5 seconds at a time. So, Mortal Kombat doesn't really have that, which is actually really nice. And you've just got a relatively fast-paced and enjoyable system. Every hit makes a decent connection. You can tell when your combos are over and when the enemy's going to have a chance to attack back. And it just all works really well. And I really do enjoy me a good game of some Mortal Kombat. Basically, when this came out, it was more or less advertised as a full port from the console versions which came out in the previous year. And they weren't kidding. It is a full port. It's got everything. And after this match, I think we'll go and play some of the story mode, so you get a general idea of what that's like. But everything's here. All the characters are here. They all have their all their moves. There's the Cryptopolis. There's all the fancy voice lines, and just everything is here. So it really is just a full version of Mortal Kombat 9 that you can take on the go. And Hey, Toasty!
Finish him.
It really is just a full version of Mortal Kombat 9 that you can take on the go with you in your pocket. Which is awesome, because Mortal Kombat 9 is a really good game, and this is a really good port. And we'll get to that, because as it turns out, some people don't like some aspects of this port. And I will play one more match on this ladder just so I can actually talk about that without talking over a story cutscene too much. Now, some people think that the game looks like arse, that the character models aren't very good at all, and the backgrounds aren't particularly great, and I am one who has to thoroughly disagree. Now, I will say I am not completely delusional, and I can see how this is a step back from the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions that preceded it. I absolutely can see why that's a thing. However, the compromises that they made are really tiny. You can still tell everybody apart. They've still got flair to them. Like, look at the way Katana moves. Even with that slightly below average model that it's got going on there, she's still moving real quick. She's still got her character and her... She's still got character and style and grace about her, which is absolutely great. Like, seriously, they've done a great job with all the animations and making everybody stand out here. Some people said that they had a little bit of a problem with this game's body diversity, where everybody looked the same, and I'm like, I don't really care, because I can tell them apart anyway. But yeah, I'm not one of the people who agrees with the idea that this game's models are particularly bad. I reckon it looks great. I mean, obviously a step down, but they've done a fantastic job with it. And it's paid off, because for the most part, not its entirety, but for the most part, the game's frame rate stays pretty consistent. It'll drop from time to time, but it doesn't really hurt anything too much. It's nothing particularly bad or anything like that. But anyway, you've seen my fatality a couple of times and all that, so I think it's about time we quit and head back to have a look at the story mode. But yeah, the overall performance of the port is really good, and it does look and sound the part, just like maybe a step or two down, depending on how you look at it. So, next thing we're going to do is hop straight into the story mode. Now, this doesn't actually have like a chapter select or a resume or anything. It's literally just going to drop me straight into the next cutscene, and I'm just going to turn this up so that you can hear it behind me while I'm talking. The story of this game seems to be roughly around the original 3 Mortal Kombat games, where basically Raiden's about to lose at the end of Mortal Kombat 3, so he sends a message back to his original Raiden around the Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3 trilogy to try and change the future, more or less. That's pretty much the entire plot so far, but it seems that it's following the plot of the original 3 games pretty much to a T, just with all the new stuff that the time-traveling nonsense brings into it, right? And I don't think this is a bad thing. The only real problem I have with the story of Mortal Kombat 9, I have actually played it before. I don't want to get too much into spoilers or anything, but the main general thing that I have that's wrong with it is that it moves at a breakneck pace. It seems to just go from one end to the other. Like, it takes less than an hour to get through the first tournament, so, you know, 1/4 of the story. And it's not a very long story mode, but it's pretty well presented. These pre-rendered cutscenes do have some weird things going on with them. Like, there's this one scene where everybody is very clearly standing on a 2D pre-rendered background from, like, old 80s adventure computer games, and it's kind of weird. It's actually in this cutscene, so I'll point it out when I see it. But other than that, the cutscenes are pretty well presented. The voice acting is is fine. I don't have a major problem with it. It's not as impressive as like some other fighting game stories I've played, but at the same time, you're rebooting Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat didn't have much to work with in the first place, so I'll give them credit for at least making it entertaining. I enjoy playing through the Mortal Kombat story, and I was having fun playing through the little bit that I did here, because as I said, I've gone through to the end of the first one, which is, and this whole story is separated into chapters. I'm on chapter like 6 of 16, so yeah, it's pretty short. Pretty well presented too, like seriously, it looks pretty nice. For the most part, anyway. I'll sit and let you watch the rest, but here, listen for my giggle. Listen for my giggle.
I do not understand why my amulet is further damaged. He must win. If not Liu Kang, then who?
You got me. Not sure anybody could have done what he did. Made Shang Tsung look like a chump.
Here to congratulate us on our victory, sorcerer.
What? Shang Tsung?
You have been revitalized, I see. I didn't realize your master was in the habit of rewarding failure.
The Emperor has an offer, Raiden. A new tournament.
I see no reason to participate in any plan of yours.
The Emperor proposes a single tournament to replace the current system of 10. It will be held in Outworld. If Earthrealm does not win, Outworld will absorb it. But if Earthrealm wins, Shao Kahn will abandon his claim to it forever.
Give your Emperor my regards. Realize what we must do.
Anybody get the number that... Wait, where's Sonya?
Shang Tsung has taken her.
We've got to find her.
We must follow them.
Shang Tsung has made it clear that Earthrealm will be under constant threat unless I agree to a new tournament.
Another vision?
Yes. I saw Liu Kang win the proposed tournament. I believe we must attend. But my earlier vision of your victory over Shang Tsung was not the solution I sought. Therefore, this premonition must show an event I need to change. Perhaps he must win refers to another.
Look at that. That is like so clearly of 2D adventure game standards. But yeah, I'm gonna start talking now. You've heard a little bit of voice acting and stuff that's been going on and had a little bit of a look at that. The actual video quality is fine for the most part. Like, it's a little bit compressed, but at the same time, when you're watching it on the Vita screen and hearing it on the Vita speakers, it's not really gonna make that much of a difference. So whatever. Like, I don't have that big of a problem with it. It's not like Batman, where it was a little bit more compressed. Not Batman, I should say Injustice, where it was a little bit more compressed than it needed to be, but yeah. It's fine. Just in overall quality.
She better not have a scratch on her.
Wait, this is a tournament.
The Earthrealm delegation has arrived. And we have a volunteer for first combat.
What?
The tournament will begin.
There's Jax getting himself into trouble. This is what I like, though. This is actually a pretty neat little thing that they do. It just... watch. It immediately fades from video to gameplay. well, it's not even a fade, it's just a stiff cut. But
One. Fight!
yeah, it's pretty good actually. I just like how it's just a straight cut to the gameplay. It keeps a nice flow, even though it's a pretty obvious cut. I haven't actually played this part of the story mode for very long. I don't actually play Jax at all, so I am completely unfamiliar with his control style, and this is going to screw me over. So the way the story mode in this game works is you have a every chapter you take on someone different, and you go through a few fights with them, which eventually escalates into a quote-unquote boss fight. Like, the end of Liu Kang's fight is actually Goro. You know, Mortal Kombat 1 Goro. So, you get the general idea. You actually get an absolute ton of coins for playing the game, for playing the story mode all the way through. Like, every time you finish a chapter, you'll get a massive... We're just trading at this point. You'll get a massive amount of coins just for playing this story mode, so I would fully recommend that you do that. This guy's not making it easy for me, Jesus. I mean, I'm only playing on normal. Nope, save your X-ray attack if you can, and I lost anyway. Ah, fuck it doesn't matter. You don't need to see much more of the story other than that. It's just more of those FMV cutscenes followed by fights, pretty much. But yeah, the story mode is fine. It'll give you some entertainment for a few hours. Where the majority of the game's challenge and fun lies is in the challenge towers. Now, the challenge towers are awesome. And they sort of kind of bring these back in Mortal Kombat X as daily towers that you can climb. They'll have like one thing applied to them. But in this game, it's a fair bit different. So what you do is you go into these towers and they have these individual challenges. And these challenges can be anything from beat this opponent within a few minutes or a few seconds or whatever to basically just, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it goes from that to the game field is upside down. And you need to go and... The game field is upside down and you need to beat your opponent while they're upside down. Yes, that is a thing. Unfortunately, I do not know Sub-Zero's special moves, so I ran out of time. Let's see if I can actually have a look at them here. Forward, back, and then down... Okay, down, forward, and... Down, forward, square, and X are going to be the moves I need. So let's try and remember those. And these challenges, as I say, can get absolutely ridiculous. There are ones that require you just to dodge things. There are these weird little mini-game ones. My personal favorite is the... Test Your Luck, which is actually something you can play separately from this tower as well, where you have a bunch of these casino reels, and they roll around, and they give you random things, like whether they be benefits or deficits, to work with in a fight. And it's actually a lot of fun to play those, because you never know exactly what you're going to end up with. It's great. Alright, so what's my objective for this one? Hit Scorpion in different parts of his body to win. Let's see if we have something a little bit more fun to play. You know what? Sure. I'll show you Test Your Luck, because this is actually fun. And the game isn't actually that big of a dick either. You can skip a lot of challenges. Now, the game lets you spend, I think it's like double the reward that you would normally get from a mission to skip a mission and go on to the next thing in the tower. Which is actually pretty awesome, I reckon. Right, so she doesn't get enhanced specials, but she also gets a frost shield, so I can't use any ice attacks. If I was playing Sub-Zero, I'd have a right to be worried, but I'm playing Sector, thankfully. Now I just need to remember his fucking special moves. So you actually have to play as him as part of the challenges. It works a lot like the story mode, where you're given a certain character to use for 5 or so challenges, which is fine, but it can kind of suck when you need to learn all these moves in order to, you know, get a general idea of what you're doing with a character so that you can do a specific challenge, because there are a lot of challenges that require some very in-depth move knowledge. There are 300 challenges at all in the tower. In this tower. I did say that there were more than one challenge tower. There's more than one challenge tower. And you can get into the second challenge tower at any time. We'll get onto that one in a bit. We'll just play around with some of the challenges in here. I'll go and I'll show you what it looks like to skip, though. So if I just go back up the top here, you can fast scroll up and down if you like. So if I choose to skip this one, I can come up here. And I can keep going if I want. Finish your opponent with a fatality. You're only able to attack by throwing your limbs. Okay, this one I have to see.
Fight!
What the fuck? Okay, that's actually awesome. It's just kind of random, like you just move your neck and... Goodbye, leg. That's awesome. I don't actually remember seeing this one. As I said, the challenge tower challenges are actually really fucking hard at points, so I haven't gone through very much of it, but... Like, seriously? How can you not be in love with a stupid fucking game that will literally let you throw your arms and legs at your opponent to kill them? That is one of the best fucking things. I love how they don't take this all too seriously. Like, they don't make it all really... They don't take it massively seriously. They have a bit of fun with it, and that's what these challenge towers remind me of. Let's have a look at some of these challenges here. Opponent must be killed with fatality. Just defeat your opponent. Test your sight, which is literally just spinning cups, which is ridiculous. And lightning summon. You can only be healed in the cone of light. Hit him in different parts of his body. And you can't lose, but the more hits you get in, the more coins you get. It's just stuff like this. It's always giving you something new and interesting to play around with in these challenge towers. And that's what I like about it. It's a fantastic example of secondary content. Stuff that's meant to keep you coming back while still remaining interesting at the same time. So, if we back out here, we can actually go and have a look at the bonus challenge tower. Now, this was something that was made for the PlayStation Vita port specifically, which means this is probably the best version of Mortal Kombat, because as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong on this, and I will need to go look this up after I do my video, but I don't think this bonus challenge tower showed up in the Mortal Kombat Complete Edition. I could be wrong. But anyway, just to give you an idea of what they're doing with this silly little thing. With this silly little new challenge tower. What they've basically done is given you a free version of Fruit Ninja. Except it's body parts. And of course you don't want to slice the bombs. And you get coins for playing it too. And again, you don't have to go through, the challenge towers in order to unlock this. You can play this just out on the main menu if you feel like it. It's just a nice little... It's a nice little thing. Oh, there's a little bit of performance dropping for you. But yeah, as you can see, I've earned myself a ton of extra bonus coins there, which is really nice. That's more than enough to skip like 5 challenges if I want to. This does work in the same rules, so you can skip up to other things as well. Like, let's have a look here. Tap Johnny to have him fight. Why the hell not?
Fight!
I'm literally just tapping the screen right now. I'm not actually pressing anything. You can also use the normal controls in this fight, but... oh well. It's just kind of neat. I like this as I've already said, I like this kind of secondary content that makes you want to keep coming back, because even the general ladders and stuff won't keep you entertained for very long in this game. And unfortunately, since there's no online anymore, it means that you're just kind of stuck with the single player content. But at the same time, this is good fun. And considering how many challenges there are in these towers, it makes it just really enjoyable to go through them. And you do get to play around with all the different kinds of characters as well. Actually, I think there's one that I really like. And it's also worth noting that this challenge tower actually has characters that weren't in the original challenge tower. So if I remember correctly, like down near the very bottom, yeah, there he is. Freddy Krueger wasn't in the regular challenge towers. So yeah, you actually get to play some challenges with him here. There's one in particular. You can only damage an opponent of the opposite color. You will heal an opponent of the same color. Don't let your partner die. That's actually pretty awesome. I'm just trying to remember if it's here. It might have been that one I just went by where it's, tap your combatant before he explodes. That's actually pretty cool. What do we got? Sector is invincible. There we go. That's the one I'm talking about. The combatant on the high ground receives buffs. Tilt the system. That's just silly. It's over the top silly, and I love it. So watch this. See, look at that. How dumb is this? This is like it's fun, but it's also the dumbest fucking thing. I don't know Rain's moves. Alright, hang on. It's stupid, and I like it because it's stupid while also having a bit of fun with itself. So yeah, let's back out now, and we'll go play a little bit of tag team matches. I can talk a little more. Because if you were sick of my talking already, you'd be already gone. So yeah. You've got, so you test your balance, test your slice, test your luck, test your might, test your silence, test your strike. You can actually go in, you do actually have to unlock the higher levels in order to play them here, but you can still come here and play them just straight away if you feel like it. So, you know, whatever. We'll go and play a little bit of tag ladder, not all the way up as I did previously with the normal fight ladder, but we'll find some way to have fun with it. So, let's see. You know what? Kratos and Johnny Cage. Why the fuck not? I haven't even played Kratos on this version. Fucking Shao Kahn. There are a bunch of other minor things you can do as well, like you can have an augmented reality background, like using the camera by putting in a certain button combination during the training mode. You can also do this weird thing where if you go into the versus mode and put in certain codes, it'll fuck with the fight. And just little stuff like that, you know? Just little things like that that really tell you that they cared. And with how well this version of the game turned out, I'm just trying to figure out Kratos' moves. I'm not particularly familiar with them, as I said. I did manage to figure out the blinding attack immediately. I am a little bit more familiar with Johnny Cage. That's the attack I was looking for. There we go. I can appreciate what Mortal Kombat 9 did for the series, Mortal Kombat 10 I should say, where it added a bunch of extra things, Like, it added a bunch of extra things, like being able to attack using environmental objects, and, yeah, back, with a bunch of environmental objects, and just, more smoother combat. But I feel like that the more deliberate movements of 9 is more true to Mortal Kombat than Mortal Kombat 10 is. Mortal Kombat 10 doesn't really feel like a Mortal Kombat game to me. It feels more like its own thing that just has the Mortal Kombat name on it. Just because of how unbelievably smooth and more combo focused it is. Which is fine, and it's a good game in and of itself. I just like 9 better, because 9 just feels more like Mortal Kombat. I'm not even that very well into Mortal Kombat, but I like 9 better than 10 because it just feels more like Mortal Kombat, so... What's Kratos' grab like? Very painful, apparently. Jesus. What's his other moves? Let me just check his other moves real quick to make sure I haven't missed anything. Ah, right, that would explain it. Right, so we got down and forward and down and back. Yeah, that's right. And right, okay. We'll try and remember some of these. There we go. That's the Hermes dash. Fuck you. You're blind. Come on, Johnny. Let's have a little bit more fun with you, shall? I love how he's just like, fuck this shit. I'm out. Thanks, Kratos. Love the assist, buddy.
Finish him.
Yeah, I don't know Johnny's fatality either. Probably should have looked one of them up before I went to the effort. Nice taunt, although your glasses are a bit broken there. Just on that lens. One more fight, and then I think we'll call it. Just because I don't really have anything else to say about it, really. It's a good port of a really good game, and you can get it really cheap these days, too. Like, I've seen it go as cheap as, like, $5 on sales, but its default price is $20, which is, like, still really respectable. For a game with this much content, even with the online multiplayer gone, the Challenge Tower stuff will keep you interested for way longer than you might expect it to. And it's just a... Hang on, what's Kratos' fatality? I should probably know this. Kratos' fatality is down, down, back, forward, and I have to be touching him. Alright. You can actually do the other fatalities if you know the combination, and you haven't unlocked them yet, too, which is nice. Oh dear, Raiden's gonna get the X-ray attack on me. Oh, that's gotta sting. Now, what does mine look like? Oh, just bail out at the moment of truth, huh, Raiden? That's fine, 2 can play that game. Oh, I love it. I just immediately killed off Raiden on the Switch. So he jumped in and then immediately fell off the screen and died. Oh, that was a masterful duck right there. That was. Yes, indeedy. Hey, it's Sosi again. I don't even know what does that. What the fuck is doing that? Like, what's the conditions for making him show up? I don't think I've ever had him show up before, and now that I'm on camera, I've pulled it off twice. Fuck off. Alright, come here. I said come here, not beat me to shreds. The uppercut. Always go for the uppercut. It was always overpowered in Mortal Kombat 1. It's overpowered now. Although, if you ever play online with me, expect me to do nothing but uppercuts. God, I don't think I've played Mortal Kombat X since it came out. Like, man, the online lobbies for Mortal Kombat X were fucking broken just right from the beginning. And they never seem to want to put in the effort to actually fix them, at least from my point of view. So, I just never played it again. Screw it. You get X-rayed. Alright, so it's,
Finish him.
now, it's down, down, back, forward, right? Yeah, I actually remembered. Alright. Down, down, back, forward. There we go. Oh, that's gonna suck.
Kratos wins. Fatality.
Appropriately gory, a really fun fighting game. Feels like a respectful showing to the original game that it's a reboot of. A ton of fun to play, a lot of single player content, a great character roster, and a really well done port. Like, what else could you ask for in a fighting game? I know it's a really old fighting game, but it's still one that I enjoy quite thoroughly, and if I had like a 128 gig memory card or just something I could carry all my Vita games around on it, this would be on it. Like, absolutely. So yeah, there you go. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.